Welcome to the Idil Adha edition of The Pulse. It is your most authoritative hour on TV, The Pulse. We are live from our studios in Kokomlemle on your digital terrestrial TV because we are free to air on DSTV channel 421 and GoTV channel 144. Remember, we are your home of independent, fearless, credible and impactful journalism. This afternoon, Ghana's COVID-19 cases continue to surge, with 2 more persons confirmed dead from COVID-19 as a relentless spread of the infection leaves all regions of Ghana with active cases. Today, the President, Akufo-Addo, has been expressing worry about non-adherence to the COVID protocols. We have more from the President and an update of the country's COVID situation.
It is important to repeat that the virus is still with us. And until each and every one of us receives a double dose of the vaccine, the protocols must continue to be a part and parcel of our daily activity.
Also this afternoon, Muslims across the world observe the Idil Adha prayers. Here in Ghana, Chief Imam Osman Nuh Shaributu has been explaining the significance of the celebration. We are live at the Kanda Central Mosque with sights and sounds of the celebration.
And observe the safe.
Later in the bulletin, we'll visit the Volta and explore the region's vast tourism sector ahead of the Volta Fair in November. Plus, musicians getting paid for their talent remains an issue of major concern in Ghana. People simply download and copy songs rather than pay for the use of the songs. This afternoon, we discuss how Ghanaian artists can take advantage of royalties from their creative works to better their lot. The Pulse is brought to you by Global Communities, Dignilo, Affordable Safe Sanitation. My name is Aisha Ibrahim. Remember, we are also streaming live on YouTube and all our social media handles. Tweet at us with hashtag The Pulse. My personal handle is @Nana Aisha. It's always a pleasure to host you. In our very first story, President Akufo-Addo says recent surge in COVID-19 cases in the country is a source of worry to him and Ghanaians. Speaking at the Idil Adha prayers at the National Mosque here in Accra, he blamed the non-adherence to the COVID-19 protocols for the recent increase in infections and deaths. We'll hear from him shortly. First, though, the COVID-19 situation. 2 more persons have been confirmed dead from COVID-19 as a relentless spread of the infection leaves all regions of Ghana with active cases except the Upper West. Today, top health officials led by the Director General of the Ghana Health Service are wrapping up their 2-day meeting aimed at finding a solution to the high cases of severe and critical illness. Last night, Director General of the Ghana Health Service, Dr. Patrick Kumabuaji, spoke on PM Express and he explained what they intend to do. Let's listen to the President first, and then we can listen to Dr. Kumabuaji.
It is important to repeat that the virus is still with us. And until each and every one of us receives a double dose of the vaccine, the protocols must continue to be a part and parcel of our daily activities. The Ministry of Health is working hard to ensure that even in the midst of a global shortage of vaccines, the target that we have set for ourselves, that is the vaccination of the adult population of Ghana, i.e. some 20 million Ghanaians, is undertaken. Until that goal is achieved, I will continue to count on the support and cooperation of the Ghanaian people to ensure our collective security. Jama'a, Idil Adha holds great lessons for us. The sacrifice of Prophet Ibrahim, which we celebrate today, must spur us on to sacrifice for the progress and prosperity of our country. Sacrificing for our country means giving of our best in our various areas of endeavor and making the national interest paramount in whatever we do. The month of Zulhijjah, which is the month in which the Hajj and Eid al-Adha are held, is one of Islam's holiest months. In this month, Muslims dedicate themselves to prayers, the remembrance of Allah, giving charity to the poor and needy, and other acts of devotion. I ask the Muslim Ummah in Ghana to remember our nation during these periods of devotion. Pray for wisdom and guidance for me and for members of my government, so that we can steer the ship of state in a manner that allows us to navigate the stormy and turbulent economic and other challenges that confront our nation and the world. The COVID-19 pandemic is still with us, unfortunately, and this has meant that for the second year running, we are having to hold a subdued Eid celebration. As we continue to count on the grace of God to protect our country from the ravages of the pandemic, like we have done since its outbreak, we can only minimize its health effects and avoid a full-blown third wave if we continue to be responsible and observe the safety and hygiene protocols. The recent increase in the number of infections is a source of worry for me and indeed for all Ghanaians. From the rising numbers, it is safe to conclude that we have let our guard down and we're beginning to live our lives and conduct our businesses as though we are in normal times.
We can now hear from the Director General of the Ghana Health Service, Patrick Kumabuaje, who spoke on PM Express last night.
What we have is currently over 98,000. Our most current figure, which has been published, the active case about 3,140 and not 2,885, with 115 deaths so far. That is where we are. We have rising cases in Accra and Kumasi. I say Kumasi because the other districts around is quiet, but it's Accra, Kumasi Metro and the rest. And also in Accra Metro and the surrounding area, that's where we are having the increasing number of cases. We have had a significant number of clusters that have also shown outbreaks. And these are in some workplaces. These are in a couple of few schools, Accra, and a few schools in the metros in Kumasi. That is fueling the number. But of course, there's also some community spread increases across the country, and it's something that we are all working towards to ensure that we are back away. I wouldn't say we are already in a third wave. If you follow our trajectory very well, there's always, we have some humps, sometimes they are better, sometimes it goes on when there's a trigger. And that is why we are here to do an assessment in Kumasi to see our situation, not just in Accra and Kumasi, but all over the country. Where are the threats coming from our neighbors, etc., to take decisions. I wouldn't say, yes, we have an increase. We could avoid a wave, but if things continue that way, we may move into a wave. But if you look at our epic very closely, you see that there's always a little hump, and sometimes it's abated, and sometimes it continues. That's why we had the 2 waves. And so we need to study the trend very well. But we are looking at it. And I don't think that anybody is wishing away on us. We've always been prepared to control any outbreak, and that's exactly what we continue to do.
Let's take you live to the Ashanti region because some students of Kumasi Girls High School are alleged to have been assaulted by police and a military team deployed to the school to calm rioting students. They went on rampage last night after being denied mid-term break. The Ghana Education Service yesterday released a statement ordering school authorities to take the action as a measure to halt spread of COVID-19. Nana Ojima, is a correspondent in that region. He joins me with more now. Were students not aware of the fresh directive from the health service?
So the students were infuriated after they were made aware of the directive that the school authorities had received from the Ghana Education Service. So it was the message that made the students angry when they had already packed and waiting for the next morning to leave the school for their homes.
Now, you've been speaking to the Ashanti Regional Minister on the deployment to the school. What has he been saying?
So according to the Ashanti Regional Minister, there was information that Kumasi Girls Senior High School and also St. Louis Senior High School, all in the Ashanti region, Kumasi to be specific, were on rampage after receiving message that their midterm break has been terminated. So the students on both campuses went on rampage, hence the need to deploy security to the school to ensure that these students are checked and also prevent these students from destroying school authorities, destroying school property, which, according to students, some of the property were actually affected by their actions. So, according to the regional minister, the police team were called to go into these schools and ensure that there is calm. Now, from what I've been gathering from the police, the military was with the police because the team that were prepared to move in at the moment were personnel from Operation Calm Life, and these personnel, we are learning that they operate in the evening. They go on patrols in the evening, and it's a combined security deployment of police and military. So these two security services were on the campus, and according to the regional police command and the regional minister, their role was to ensure that students are calmed or are in check. So that was exactly what they went in to do. According to the police, their men gathered the students and spoke to them and ensured that these students halted the demonstration that they were doing. And a few men were left on the ground to ensure that peace reigns on the campus from last night till this morning.
We can now hear from the regional minister.
There were disturbances yesterday. The decision by Ghana Education Service that they should go home. And then the Ghana Health Services also observing the rate at which the Delta variant of the COVID is spreading. Also feels that it will be better for the students to remain in school so that they don't go out and get contact with the virus. And this is where the disagreement started between the students and the school authorities. But we asked the security to move there to maintain peace and order. So now the place is calm, there's peace at the place. Don't forget that if you go to Asanteman, they have several cases of COVID there. You understand it? And one person can just bring it and spread it across the school. So we will talk to both Ministry of Education and then Ghana Health Services and get a common ground for all the students.
But are the police personnel and the military, are they still on the campus to maintain calm?
Oh, we left some skeleton of people there because after the maintenance of calm and peace at the area, we didn't need to put so many security personnel on campus. Sometimes it's also frightening. You only maintain peace, you advise them to be law-abiding and listen to their management, whatever they tell them. And then if there's a need for any changes, they will alert them. To me, it would have been better they stay in school. To me, it would have been better they stay in school, even though it will be a cost. But I think if they stay in school, it will be better so that they don't go out and some few people will go and get COVID. And when they come back to school, they will just come and spread it among the other students, which is more costly.
Are you aware of the use of the force beyond the students
Are
you aware of the use of brute force? That's what the students are
Some are saying they were assaulted.
I've not been informed about that. I've not. Maybe you can find out from the regional police commander. But the briefing that I've been given this morning, I didn't hear of any assault case. You know, students, the moment we want to stop them from doing it, at the end of the day, somebody will come and say, I was assaulted. Even if you push somebody to go back or something, he'll say you've assaulted the person. But I will go there and witness it myself. If it's true that any student had been assaulted, and to what extent was the level of the assault.
You heard there that Ashanti Regional Minister, Nana Ojima. What else can you tell us? I mean, what's the situation right now as we speak?
I went to the campus of Kumasi Girls Senior High School. The students have been made to leave the school and go home and enjoy their midterm break. Now, the concerns that many are raising is that from what the Ashanti Regional Minister is saying, there are some senior high schools in the region that they are recording COVID-19 cases in these schools, and some of them are from the Delta variant. So if these schools are being allowed to come home, it means that some of the students who may be carrying the virus, and there's possibility of spread of the virus. And especially, it's coming at a time where a lot of the people in the city are not adhering to COVID-19 protocols. So some people are concerned. But for the premises of these schools, the calm has been restored. The students who didn't want to take the break, some of them are still on the campus. Others who are interested in taking the midterm break have left the school premises.
Nana Ojima is our correspondent in Ashanti region. We have our eyes and our camera lenses spot on over there. We'll bring you updates in our subsequent bulletins. But still on COVID-19, West Africa's Center for Cell Biology of Infectious Pathogens and other top scientists from around the globe are expected to publicize research findings on infectious and uncommunicable diseases, including the raging COVID-19 at the WACBIP conference. This year's theme is Building Sustainable Research Capacity in Africa Lessons from the Pandemic. At the event, WACBIP researchers will reveal findings of the COVID-19 and various variants in Ghana, which is expected to inform policy making. Now, joining us in the studio for more is Dr. Peter Kwashi, a senior research fellow at WACBIP, and Andrew Muniru Nantogma, who is communications manager at WACBIP. I'm grateful, gentlemen, that you joined us.
Thank you.
Who should I start with? Let me start with you, Nantogma. When and where is this conference happening?
So the conference starts tomorrow, Wednesday, 21st July, and ends on Friday, 23rd July, at the University of Ghana campus.
Your outfit, WACBIP, has done a lot of sequencing since COVID-19 came up. Even before I talk about the conference, what is your recent updates or sequencing with the Delta variant, which is ravaging people and increasing the cases in Ghana?
Right. So, yeah, since the outbreak started, we've been doing a lot of sequencing, like you said. And currently, looking at the sequences, the samples that we are getting across the country, what is worrying is that, especially in patients at the treatment centers, the Delta variant is dominating cases. So it's not the only variant that's circulating, but it really, we have evidence that shows that it has become entrenched, and it's responsible for these symptomatic cases that we are seeing in what we don't want to call a third wave.
You don't want to call what, the third wave?
Yes.
But it's already
responsible for the
Isn't
rising
it?
cases. Let's just put it that way.
Okay. So what should we expect at this conference tomorrow?
So at this conference tomorrow, so this conference normally is, we hold it every year. And last year, because of the outbreak in Ghana, we didn't have it. Okay. So this year, it's a mixture of in person and virtual. So we'll have collaborators of WACPIP and WACPIP fellows, students, scientists presenting their work on COVID-19. There will be a special session on COVID-19 and also on other infectious diseases like malaria. So we'll have representatives from the Directorate of TIBA, that's an international consortium called Tackling Infections to Benefit Africa. WACPIP is one of the members of this consortium. We'll also have the director of ACE-GID, which is one of the first centers to start sequencing viruses in West Africa, which started during the Ebola outbreak. So they will be some of the keynote speakers at the conference. And basically we will be, like Andrew mentioned, the theme is how to build capacity and to learn lessons from this current pandemic and inform where policy and research directions should go in the future.
Okay, so this conference is not only about COVID-19, but also other non-communicable diseases like...
Other communicable diseases and non-communicable diseases, like cancer, like malaria, HIV/AIDS, Borrelia, sleeping sickness, So the full gamut of research that we are doing at WACPIP. Of course, because of COVID-19, the focus has been on the work that we are doing on the virus, but we are still doing other work on other pathogens in Ghana.
Okay, and for the delegates who are supposed to be there, you're expecting 600 delegates from where?
Yes, so they are mostly, like Dr. Kwashi has said, they are mostly scientists who have peculiar interest in tackling infectious diseases and other neglected tropical diseases across the globe. To add to the list, we have scientists coming from the United States of America. For instance, one of our keynote speakers will be Professor Julian Rayner. Professor Rayner is the director for the Cambridge Medical Research Institute at the University of Cambridge. He will be one of our keynote speakers. And then we also have Professor Francisca Mutapi. She is the co-director of the Global Health Academy at the University of Edinburgh. She will also be in attendance, and she will be delivering the first keynote speech. Beyond that, we have, like we said, it's going to take the form of a hybrid conference where we have people in person and also those joining us via the various social media platforms like YouTube and Facebook. So combined, we may even exceed the 600 participants that we're talking about.
Okay.
Yeah.
What do you expect this conference to? What outcome should we expect from this conference?
So amongst the attendees at the conference will be obviously representatives of the Ghana Health Service and the government, and as well as other funders, other scientists. And what we hope to show alongside the theme of the conference is that even in the midst of this pandemic, we were able to achieve very good scientific output. And that is because of, prior to the pandemic starting, there was a sort of concerted effort by Western countries to build research capacity in Africa. And that is something that has, WACPIP is one of the beneficiaries of those initiatives. And that's how we were able to quickly mobilize and respond to this pandemic when it started. So we want to showcase that output that has been the result of that level of, level of engagement and level of investment. And that will also showcase what we are able to do at WACPIP and at our partner institutes, and where we can go with the right investment, either through the government or through the public sector, and also showcase what we want to do in the future for this pandemic and also other diseases that we are working.
Now, there's been calls for Ghana to do our own research with regards to COVID-19, for instance, and put in place the right policies that can, address this pandemic and even future pandemics. I mean, policy-wise, what should we expect from this conference?
Yeah, so work behind the scenes has been providing policy direction to the government by way of the sequencing that is happening and where government should actually direct the limited resources available. It is through the work that we do that informs government about the areas that they should be looking at in terms of, where vaccines should be deployed, because it's through this sequencing that we get to know which segment of the population are at most risk and which segment of the population needs immediate attention and so on and so forth. So this alone kind of serves as an impetus to our fight, our collective fight against COVID-19. Let me quickly also add that since the outbreak of COVID, people have been looking at African countries' capacities at handling this pandemic. What has been African countries' contribution to vaccine development, for example? And that is where this conference wants to show the light or to draw people's attention to the fact that a lot has been going on here. And it is interesting, the first keynote speaker, Professor Francis Mutapi, will be speaking on the topic, how does African-led science look like in a pandemic? You understand? Very interesting topic, because a lot of people think that in Africa, as far as the pandemic is concerned, nothing is coming from Africa.
Okay.
And she's going to highlight or enumerate some of the things that, or some of the contributions that have come from Africa as far as the fight against COVID is concerned.
It's
and
quite interesting, and
yes,
we'll look forward to having an it's a one-day
no,
discussion.
it's a 3-day conference.
3-day conference.
It's a 3-day conference starting tomorrow and ending on Friday.
Okay.
But that's the first keynote.
So if I want to join virtually, what do I do?
So we will be live on Facebook, WACBIP UG on Facebook. You can look for us. And then we'll also be on YouTube. That's University Ghana. Our YouTube channel is University Ghana, not University of Ghana.
Okay.
University Ghana.
And
that's
then
our
we can
YouTube
join.
channel. So you can follow us live throughout the 3 days on these social media platforms.
All right. We wish you all the best as your conference comes up, and thank you very much for that information. Dr. Peter Kwashi is with WACBIP. Andrew Muniru Nantoma is also communication manager with WACBIP. And of course, this afternoon, we're talking about musicians getting paid for their talent, which remains an issue of major concern in Ghana. People simply download and copy songs rather than pay for the use of the songs. This week, Jamaican veteran musician Chaka Damas revealed he had, since the outbreak of the pandemic, been drawing on checks from airplay of his songs released nearly 3 decades ago. The story is different here in Ghana. Save earnings from now vibrant streaming platforms, royalties are almost non-existent. Rex Omar, he's a musician and he's also passionate about this topic. He joins me via Zoom for a conversation. Rex, hello. Abiba, I don't go to me though. Hi, Rex Omar.
Fine, thank you.
Now, are things changing? I mean, we've been talking about this for years. What do you think? Are things changing now?
Yes, good afternoon. Things are changing, but, we do some comparisons that sometimes it gets out of context. If you listen to Shaka Demus' song, this is a global hit. So if you talk about, let's say, people on the planet Earth, it is 7 billion plus, and then this is an international hit that went all over the world. Obviously, royalties will trickle in thousands for a very long time. So people who release songs in Ghana, mostly the songs becomes hit in Ghana. They get their royal hits. That would be a different story. things are changing with Gamro, not as fast as we want it, because unlike other countries, the music users in Ghana don't understand why they have to pay for music usage. For example, your station, sometimes we have to drag you to court before you pay us. So unlike other countries, they will not sit down for anybody to drag them to court. They know their obligations. They know that when music is used, they have to pay for it. But Ghana is not the same. So I think we need to change the attitude. And those songwriters and musicians who expect to receive royalties in the quantums that have been received in elsewhere, it depends on how extensive your music is published. Because if a song becomes a hit only in America, you are talking about 300 million people who have abilities to pay and who understand that copyright is not for free, music usage is not for free, and who have structures. Ghana, we don't have that. We haven't gotten there yet, but things are improving gradually.
So for you, how do you think we can cross this hurdle? I mean, likewise, hearing from your colleague out there who is enjoying from his fruits, over the years, even music he's done about decades ago, I'm sure you're feeling bad that you're not enjoying same in Ghana. What can we do to change the narrative here in Ghana? I mean, policy-wise, regulation-wise.
Leadership, legislation. For example, recently in UK Parliament, they've sat down, they have a committee that deals with culture and some of these things, and they sat down realizing that the percentage musicians are receiving from even digital platforms and iTunes and all those things, it's not right. It goes against the musicians. So they are changing the laws. Do we have that in Ghana? No. As I'm talking right now, we don't even have any law that is backing a tariff that allows you to say that any music that is used maybe 1 minute on radio, this is how much you pay. We don't have any law like that. So radio stations and media houses are using music. We just charge them based on blanket levy. So it's a country that must understand that these things are also a part of the economic development, and it creates jobs. So at the end of the day, if an artist is a Ghanaian artist and writes a song, you may not know where the song will become a hit. So we need to, as a country, take these copyright issues serious. I mean, every musician gets up and blame Gamro, but the problem is not Gamro. The problem is the country itself, our psyche, our mentality, right from the policymaker to the music user. The policymaker doesn't understand. They don't know. They don't care. And the music user doesn't know why he has to pay for the music he's using. At the end of the day, the small organization that is trying to help is where everybody is pushing the blame.
But what's the role of the musician in all of this? Because there are some who say if our musicians create content that, are global hits, that could also help us to cross this hurdle.
You see, we can't put the blame on musicians. What is global hit? Global hits happens based on where the territory that the music is released. So, for example, when I released Abiba, if I was a British citizen or American citizen, it would have become a global hit. But it's unfortunate I was a Ghanaian citizen. My capacity, there was no record labels in Ghana. I released that thing on my own. I promoted it on my own, everything on my own. Under normal circumstances, I was supposed to be an artist. Record companies that are well-resourced with experience should have handled these things, but I didn't have any to support me. This is what is happening to a lot of artists in Ghana. Even the small record labels that we have in Ghana that are doing their best, they are under-resourced. It's about marketing. It's about branding and pushing the artist. So who funds the music industry in Ghana? Nobody does that. If we sit here and then South African music or Nigerian music become a global hit or whatever, or Jamaican music become a global hit, it's not because they are doing something so special. It's because there is a policy behind their entertainment industry. But Ghana, what is the policy? I mean, everything is just talk. We don't have a single record company that has been able to push one artist to make a global break. We don't have any. So that is the problem. As a country, if we want to see the future of the music or the creative industry, the country must pay attention to this industry, because this is the only industry that can employ a lot of the youth, be it musicians, sound men, sound engineers, cameramen, blah, blah, blah. It cuts across. But the country doesn't get it. We keep talking, but the country still doesn't get it.
So what has veterans like yourself started doing about this situation? What have you been doing about it?
Veterans like myself started fighting 35 years ago, and that is why we have GAMRO. Veterans like myself, at my prime as a musician, that I was supposed to make all the money, I had to stop to fight the system to make it right. Elsewhere, musicians at my age, they are still performing and making all the monies. But here am I leading an organization that is supposed to help the whole country. Nobody is helping you, yet even the people you are fighting for, out of ignorance and frustration, tends to fight against you. That is the situation. I'm just 55 years old. Under normal circumstances, I'm still at my prime. I'm still writing songs. But I don't have any edge to release, because if you are releasing this country for what? You're releasing the system that nobody put value on music. So that is it's a system that the whole nation must sit, because we are losing a lot. For the first time in the history of Ghana, GAMRO is pushing and pushing, and for the first time, we have received something around $50,000 for Ghanaian right owners from GAMRO. And everybody that is part of this money, his name comes with the money. We are growing, we'll get there, but the country must sit up and understand that as they neglect the creative industry, they are neglecting the foreign resources that are supposed to come to Ghana. It's not about the musicians. You are not doing it for the musicians. If Rexoma writes a song and it becomes a global hit, the money comes to Ghana. But if we don't help to put the structures in place that will make the money come to Ghana, and you think you are hurting Rexoma, you are hurting Ghana.
Luckily for you, recently, one of your own was named Deputy Minister for Tourism, and you expressed quite some interest in that. Have you started any engagement with the Ministry of Tourism as to how we can help deal with this burden?
Yes, we are talking, but at the end of the day, Ghana runs an executive presidency. If the president wants to help, he will push it. You can make somebody a minister, but if the president doesn't have interest, they push somebody, we put in one of your people there. That will not change anything. If you put one of our people there and you don't give him the necessary resources to do what he's supposed to do, it's just a 9-day wonder. So that's why I'm saying that as a country, the whole country must understand that the creative industry is our best bet if we really want to create opportunities for the youth. And it cuts across not only music. We are talking about film. We are talking about fashion. We're talking about a whole spectrum of job creation and then opportunities. So if we don't look at it, and just a mere fact that you put one person from the creative industry as a deputy minister doesn't change anything, because he will just sit down, collect his salaries. If the executive presidency doesn't care, he doesn't care.
Is that what you want him to do?
That is what we believe, that if the president put whoever there and then make it an attention that, okay, look, this is a sector that we believe that if we invest in, at least it will create a lot of jobs for the youth. It will help market Ghana in a positive way. It will help market our tourism and all that. Then there must be a policy. We have the right people. We have the right people in parliament. We have the right, but the thing is the mindset. If they don't change their mindset and look at the global economy and the way it's going, and we still want to sit down and think of cocoa and timber and whatever it is, we'll be running in circles whilst other countries are making it.
Rexoma, I'm grateful for your time, extremely grateful that you joined this conversation. Rexoma is a musician. Now, later in this bulletin, we'll be visiting the Volta and explore the region's vast tourism sector ahead of the Volta Fair in November. And this afternoon, we are in the Volta region because that region is known for its rich cultural heritage. It has been described as a tourism hub of Ghana with a variety of tourist attractions to boast of. But has the Volta region story been told enough? My colleague Emefa Pau went back home with other ambassadors, Kafui Day, Bernard Avle, Jifa Gbeho Bampo, among a host of others, and they put together these sights and sounds from the tourist sites in the region.
The journey started from the clean coastal line, known for its intellectuals, oldest buildings, powerful families, and the first stop was Vume, the town known for poetry. We are off to the Sokakope Beach Resort for a sumptuous lunch and more. We journeyed straight to the Fort Presenstein, a rude awakening, yet educating tour of what our forebears went through to Ablochi, loosely translated as they were lured to go with them, not to return.
You can hear noise. When you go, you will not see anything. It's a haunted place. Yes. And then sometimes, the fort was built with mercury. In those days, they realized that some of our forefathers were having powers that when they lean on the wall, they will just incastate some words and then vanish. So they put mercury. And those that attempted got stuck. That's why when they see what destroying the fort, you can see human remains inside the walls of the fort. So those shows that they also made an attempt to escape. So we have the mercury. So right now, when the wall develops a cracks, you see mercury coming out of the walls. That's why the females slave bath. So when they are taking their bath, governors stand at the top and then select. Yes. And then slept with some of them. That's why you have a lot of mulattoes in the top there. The governor office is there. So you have a chance of watching the females when they are bathing. So and then select, and the security men send those who have to him. He sleep with some of them. That's why you have those mulattoes I was telling you about. Yeah. So this is how the fort will look like. Before the sea destroyed part of it. Yeah. So this is the watchtower where the security men stay to overlook the entire building. And slave trade was a trade by barter. They were using brandy, whiskey, mirror in exchange for slaves. And then later on, they start using cowrie shells. So 500 of the cowrie buy a female slave, and 300 of these buy a male slave. The main reason the female give birth over there, and they sell to other plantation owners. That's why the female were more expensive than the male slaves.
Then there were more lessons on slave trade at the Atoko slave market.
Currently, we are at the Atoko slave market. I mean, when you look around, what has actually happened here, it's something that tears could be running through your eyes, I believe. So we have our tour guide, the stories that he has actually shared with us. I mean, when you look on the printings of the drawings, the walls, and the things we have here, you could actually tell the pain, the grievances that our forefathers went through. Some of them were being raped. Some of them, they had this big chain, the yokes on their necks. I mean, it was a bitter experience, I believe, for many of them. Moving forward, we were asking that whenever these whites, they come down here to visit all these places, what has ever been the messages they've been getting to these whites? He says that they've been charging them to try as much as possible to create some work opportunities so that, I mean, the children of our forefathers here, they could now benefit to have some kind of employment, have some businesses installed here. I believe that moving forward, when we have all these things in place, Ghana could actually move forward and also be a better place.
Now come with me to the Cape St. Paul Lighthouse. Think again if you haven't the slightest thought that I am faint-hearted. I did climb, but unlike Jifa, I didn't go all the way to the top. But of course, I went farther than Bernard. We then hit the road again, this time off to Joje, to visit the Maflix Trust Ghana. It's West Africa's largest exporter of potatoes and other vegetables, and also to have a taste of agro-tourism. Well, we are currently at the Maflix Trust Farm. We are currently at the Maflix Trust Farm here in Joje, Tajavu, we are told. Well, behind me you can see the greenhouses. I've counted them, it's 7 by 3 of them. It's just one of the farms that we're visiting as part of our Volta Fair. You can see, you've told you that our Volta Fair is made up of 3 main themes. It will be on agribusiness, tourism, and then, of course, IT. Well, you can see, I'm sure that later on you get to see all the videos from this place. A very wonderful place, beautiful irrigation, a number of crops. We've seen the beautiful potatoes, the okra, amongst others. This is one of the main reasons why you need to be part of the Volta Fair. So you exhibit, and then you can attract investors as well for your business. This is just one of them. You need to be part of the Volta Fair as part of also Visit Volta and Experience Ghana. We are mechanizing agriculture. We are doing it the right way right here in the Volta region. Be part of it as well. We are in the official residence of the Volta Regional Minister, Dr. Archibald Lecha.
I'm Dr. Archibald Lecha, the Minister for the Volta region. And this year, November, we'll be having the Volta Trade, Cultural and Investment Fair. And I want to welcome everybody, wherever you are, whether in this country, whether you are from Volta region, or everybody all over the world is invited to come and join us from 15th to 28th of November. So I welcome you all.
And it's time to party the Volta way. Destination is the home of the AGI president for Volta, Oti, and Easting, Dela Gajanku. What a host he was. The trip to the highest human settlement of Amejope, Mount Gemi, and Ote waterfalls was a long time coming, considering how much I had heard about the place. And I had to stop at my alma mater, Ola Girls Senior High School. It definitely brought back memories.
Swimming is allowed.
I am ready. You ready? From the Willie Waterfalls, I'm ready. You gotta visit the Volta and Experience Ghana. We are here. Hi guys, this is the Willie Waterfalls. After walking for 45 minutes, crossing how many bridges? In fact, I have made it. I'm a hero in my own right. But today we're talking about visiting Volta and experiencing Ghana. This is what we do. We're preparing for the Volta Fair in November. And as part of the places you ought to visit, this ought to be it. I don't know how you visit here and still say there is no God. You see this and know that this is certainly God. It is just God. And it's right here in the Volta region. You can't miss it. As part of your tours of the Volta region, really, Waterfalls has to be the place to be. Just contact me. I'll make arrangements for you to be here. Don't worry at all. I'll make arrangements. Fafa is available. The entire team are waiting for you to bring you right here to the Volta region, and then you get to experience Ghana. This will be the prelude to the Volta Fair in November. So, it's like what? A year of return for all Voltarians. Waterfalls. Right here. See you soon. Visit Volta, experience Ghana. Bye.
Assuming even the flight starts and you land in Ho, the first place you want to visit is we have the Ho Museum, which is a place you can go and learn about heritage and everything there is to know. We have the Evangelical Presbyterian or the Bremen Missionary history and their heritage also at Hopoji. You can go and learn a lot about the place. The various communities in Ho also have even the names and things have their meanings.
Now, let me give you one more reason why you have to visit the Volta region as soon as you can. Let's head to the Afajato South constituency and visit the famous Mount Afaja. My next visit will take me to the monkey sanctuary, the snake farm, the white clay pit known as Agatawe or Ayelo at Amfuega, among others. That trip will be soon, so catch me if you can. But by all means, be at this year's Volta Fair in November. Visit Volta and experience Ghana.
Let's now have a conversation about what is so beautiful about Volta region that Tamale, Beyonce like me should visit there. I'm joined by Jifa Bampo, who is via Zoom, and Ivy Della Prosper is also joining us via Zoom. Hello guys, how are you doing?
Hello.
Jifa, good to see you.
Hello, Aisha, and congratulations on your new role as the Pulse host.
Thank you so much, Jifa. So tell me, what's your responsibility as an ambassador? Let me start with you, Jifa.
All right. So as an ambassador, one of the things I'm required to do is to provide some publicity and attention, leverage the opportunities I have as a media practitioner with some following also on social media to draw attention to the Volta Trade and Investment Fair that's happening in November.
Okay, Della is also here. Ivy Della Prosper. Hello, hi, Ivy. What's your responsibility as an ambassador? Kindly unmute. Unmute for me, Ivy.
Hello, thank you for having me on the show. As an ambassador, my responsibility is to showcase the beauty of the Volta region and to encourage people to travel there and encourage people to take the time to look for potential investments and the possibilities of doing business in the Volta region. Myself, I was born in Ghana, but I was raised in Canada and I live in Ghana now. And with my YouTube channel, I have an audience that is very much interested in coming to Ghana. And I have people who book trips to come to Ghana after they see some of my videos and some of my content. As a matter of fact, I've already had a few people send me messages after I posted the Ruby waterfalls on my Instagram that they were putting that on their agenda when they return to Ghana for their next trip. So my goal is to use my content to promote Volta for people to come for holidays as well as potential investment opportunities.
All right, so let's start the showcasing. Let's talk about the places designated for this fair. I'm talking about the Willie Falls, I'm talking about the Snake Farm, I'm talking about the Monkey Sanctuary, and what, Jifa?
So, the Volta region is divided into two parts, so it's split in two. There's the southern Volta, which is really the coastal area near the beach, and that is flat land, and it has some unique attractions. I think the main thing, of course, is the beach. It's really clean. Aisha, you can walk through it without having any fear of anything going through your feet. And the sea is so blue and so clean. I mean, it's a sight to behold. So the coastal views are wonderful. They have lovely resort hotels along the beach as well. And then, of course, we have some unique relics from the past. So you have the lighthouse at Way. It's called Cape St. Paul. I managed to climb right to the top when everyone else was afraid, but I got right up there, went in there. Really beautiful, when you see the sights across, the stretch of the coast with all our coconut trees down south. And of course, there's the Atoko slave market, which we visited. And that really was a solemn visit, together with the visit to the fort, Fort Prisenstein. Many people are familiar with the forts along the west coast, which is going through Cape Coast, Elmina, and the like, all the way to the western region. But the eastern coast has one fort. It's called Fort Prisenstein. Unfortunately, half of it has fallen or been taken over by the sea due to the erosion. And so you will only see a portion of it, but it still brings a lot of memories of the suffering of enslaved people, if you look at it and what it has to offer. And then, of course, as you move along the coast, you get to Sogakope. You also experience the beautiful Volta Lake, as well as the lakeside homes and villas and residences there. That too is beautiful, together with our pottery in Vube. So, of course, there are many other things you can visit in the Keta area, but then, of course, you now have to jump from south to north. And that's where the land there is greener, it's more forested. It has beautiful mountain ranges. For those who may have studied geography, the name is the Equapim Togo Ranges, and it's really just a sight to behold. I really do hope that no one is allowed to build on those mountains. Otherwise, it will destroy the landscape and destroy the environment. They're really beautiful. I think one of the highlights for me was the Gemi Mountain. We didn't get to climb it. It's near Amejopa. Amejopa is an elevated settlement on the hills or on the mountain. But the unique thing about Gemi Mountain is it has a cross. The cross was sited there by the German Bremen missionaries, and a lot of them lived there and set up the oldest training college there. There will be 75 coincidentally in October, which is just a month before the Volta Fair. So I think that proves to be an opportunity to celebrate all the great things that is offered there. So there's lots to see. Obviously, Afaja. I know a lot of people say Mount Afaja, so I think this is an opportunity to correct it. It's Mount Afaja. Because in To, it means mountain. So it's Afaja To, meaning Afaja mountain. So we either say Mount Afaja or Afaja To. So I hope go down well today. But then there's so much to see in the Volta region, and we want to encourage those who are interested to take time to visit. There are also business opportunities as well. There's a lot of land. The land is very fertile, good for any agribusiness you wish to engage in. And the other highlight of my visit over the weekend was drinking cashew wine. And I think it's really that we have something like that so that we can promote our own things instead of having to drink foreign Chardonnays and champagnes and the like. And so for me, I think there's a lot to experience. For me, it's the first time I've really experienced the tourism and the culture and the land. Usually I just go for a funeral and return. It doesn't give you enough time to experience anything. And I think this was a really phenomenal thing.
Interesting. And the fact that you corrected, the one that I learned is not to say Mount Afajato, to say Mount Afaja or to say Afajato. But of course, let's talk about all these areas you've just vividly described, one after the other. The Willie Falls, for instance. And did you get to visit the snake farm? Were you able to go there? I'm told you were scared.
I was the main opposition candidate against visiting the snake farm, but it was more about time. We had packed a lot into the visit, and so we couldn't do the monkey sanctuary, and we couldn't do the snake farm and the clay area as well. I'm sure on the next trip, which is being organized, I think or planned for September, there will be an opportunity to visit that. But Blue Waterfalls was really nice. I mean, we had to cross 8 bridges to get there. I decided to stop counting the bridges, otherwise I would stop. But I loved the waterfall, really natural beauty.
And of course, you know I'm Tamale Beyonce, right? So why should I go to the Volta region and even visit Willie Falls, for instance? What's so special about that place?
The Volta region will offer you the opportunity to see a beauty unlike any other. The Vuli waterfalls I know we have similar falls in other parts of Ghana, but the difference with that one is the highest point in West Africa. It's also, it's the highest waterfall in West Africa. It's also flowing with water all the time, because we were told that the other falls like Boti Falls, you go there during a time and it's just a drizzle, not very much. But he said the Wili waterfalls is always flowing with abundance. You go there and all the time it's flowing. So you always see the beauty. There's no time you'll go and it's not beautiful. And the hike getting up there, it was quite a journey. I was tired. but I will tell you, it was well worth the hike to go up there and just to see the beauty. And you look around, you think, how can somebody think that there's no God when you see this and you just look around and you're like just in complete awe of it.
Did you get the opportunity to eat some fettuccine and some akpene and all that?
Yeah, we did. We ate all of that, but especially when we stopped in Sakokape, we also got a chance to eat a variety of dishes there. So we ate all kinds of Voltarian food. We enjoyed ourselves. And when we went to Point and Kill, that was an interesting experience. You basically go there and there's different types of food you can eat. There's rabbit, there's catfish, there's chickens, and they kill the food and they serve it for you. It's fresh.
Okay.
And it's also a great place for the family because there's a big park there where children can play, they can explore, they can just relax and enjoy themselves. And there's music playing. It's a very, very great place to go with a family.
The one thing that would take me to the Volta region is the tilapia. I mean, no two ways about that. It's so fresh that I can testify. But one other thing Jifa spoke about is the cashew wine that I would like to try. So maybe I'll go for the November fair so I can explore some of these things. But of course, Della, by popular request, I'm asked to speak a little ever with you because I've started learning ahead of November. F1.
I'm also learning too.
Oh,
Jifa told me everything. I should just say, eh.
Oh, really? So if I say, Madakuku Madoyevugbe, that one too, you say, eh.
I'll say, eh.
Thank you so much, ladies.
Growing up outside of Ghana, I didn't get the opportunity to learn the Ewe, but I did learn Tree. So now I'm on the journey to learn the Ewe language.
Okay, maybe you can contact me. I'll give you a few lines. Thank you so much, ladies. And have fun.
Thank you. Apello.
We're still live on The Pulse. We take a break. We'll bring you more. Welcome back to The Pulse. Now to a conversation which focuses on the very, one of the essence of our lives. Teenage pregnancy remains a big challenge in Ghana. And data from the annual Ghana Health Service statistics on this is very alarming. This time, it is not only girls that are between 13 to 19, but girls between 10 to 13 years as well. The data shows that in 2020, nearly 301 girls were impregnated every day in Ghana, while 13 teenage pregnancies are recorded every 1 hour. According to the Ghana Health Service, Ghana recorded a statistic of 109,888 teen pregnancies, with the lowest girls to be put in the family way being 10-year-olds. In the Central Region, 10,301 girls got pregnant, but there's to be a very healthy development as a victim of rape and teenage pregnancy who's been able to pull through the situation has established a foundation that has 400 teenage girls in the Ebura Asebu Kwamankete district. Akosia has relied on farming to feed and sponsor these girls in schools and also to put them into apprenticeship. She says the girls are vulnerable, and if they are allowed to remain in their current situation, men will prey on them and get them pregnant again. Richard Kwejonyako travels to the district and interacts with the teenage mothers, and he's explored what led them into their situation.
I feel sad when I see my younger sisters being a teenage mother. I know what it is and what they are passing through.
Ernestina Kosiakwa was a victim of defilement and as a result got pregnant during her teenage years. Years after the incident, Ernestina has been able to put herself together to rally people that were in the same situation around she was years ago.
Now, Timprek Foundation have 400 teenage mothers, which 34 are in secondary schools in the Central Region, 22 are in basic schools, and 344 are in skills training.
She's mobilized 400 teenage mothers whose vulnerabilities are putting them back in situations that would make them pregnant again and shatter their dreams. I wasn't doing well at school, and so I dropped out and decided to learn some apprenticeship, but hunger was killing me. Charlotte is a teenage mother in the Abrasibu-Kwamankase district. She tells a chilling tale of what put her in the situation she finds herself.
And then
I got a guy who told me he would help me. I gave myself to him and he got me pregnant. But I decided to terminate the pregnancy. And thus went to buy a 70 Ghana CD drug to terminate it. I tried and tried, but I couldn't terminate the pregnancy. So I had no option than to give birth, and Team Preg Foundation came to my aid. The struggle for survival. Her colleague, teenage mother, Jennifer, shares her ordeal and why she desperately needs some skills to become independent.
Obi 12 years up to 20 years. Yenyin yem bebre ne yenyin na yenya aboafo. Ebi wo no ma ye ma me nyipo ye ma me efim. Onya de bia ye mo fama bone nti na ye konyin yon. Onam ma ye bezinti.
We are many here, and so we need your support. We are many. Some are 12 years, up to 20 years. We all got pregnant, but we had no support. It isn't that we are bad girls. That is why we got pregnant. But what we will eat on a daily basis makes us give ourselves to men. Now we need your support as we have begun learning skills. Some have no parents, and their families don't even mind them. And so survival becomes our only option. And then men take advantage of us and get us pregnant. We need your help. On the streets of Abra Dunkau, I meet a 40-year-old girl who is just giving birth to her second child. The tales of these girls are endless. They need to eat and be taken care of. It's a matter of survival. Their parents don't have what it takes to take care of them, they say. And these girls desperately need to survive. In the Abrasibu-Kwamankase district, the statistics of not only teenage mothers, but child mothers are disturbing and staggering. It's gradually becoming common for children between the ages of 11 and 13 becoming mothers. A mother and the wife of the Kwamankase chief, Cynthia Andotela, describes the recurring nature of the teenage pregnancy issue in the area. She craves for support for Team Preg Foundation, as the NGO has been doing very well for the teenagers in the area.
The teenage pregnancy around this area is very tough. It's not easy at all. About 4 years ago, when they were doing statistics on teenage pregnancy, we got the award of the teenage pregnancy because in our area, just after this town, you will meet a certain lady who has given birth to 2 children, just a 13-year girl. And when you're talking of a teen, I can even say that person is not even 18 because for 13 years to give birth to 2, it's not easy. So if the ministries and the government want to help the Team Preg Foundation, it's not bad. It will help a lot because you know something in this area there's no job.
Some of the masters in the apprenticeship the teenage mothers have been given to want more support as they describe the vulnerabilities of the girls.
We
need some support for these girls. We also need some other things like hairs to practice. We need some hair dryers so the children will be equipped to learn the skills. MPs and other people should come to our aid. These children came with their children, and so they need support.
Na za yen yer buo no odoso montum nkane nyina
Na za yaresraso de mofamadu.
I have 10 children under me, and they require some support. They need some sewing machines. Now it is 3 children to 1 machine, and becomes difficult to support them in learning the skill.
Machines by pay basa. No, Mrs. Oben here there, Obia Yanaza, or Bob Bomber from Banman, Zawopeda, Wosiano, with Sieni Ye.
Kwamankese Omahen, or Kakabin Aidan Andor, the 10th, is calling for support for Team Preg Foundation as the foundation is gradually changing the narrative in the area.
It's what I can say is something that is uncontrollable. We of the Traditional Council have decided to give a land to any NGO who would like to help the traditional area to help us in a way of driving out such a thing. Team Preg is doing well. It's the only NGO we have in our district here. So we are also saying that if they need any help from any quarters, I believe they should also help them.
Ernestina Kusiakwa is reaching out to individuals and benevolent organizations to lend her some support as she changes the song of these young ones.
We are new NGO and also a local NGO. So we don't have the fund to support this teenage initiative. So we are calling all the individuals, institutions, companies and NGOs to come to our aid to support these teenage mothers, else they will go back to where they come from. So now we have these 400 teenage mothers are under our care, Team Preg Foundation's care.
For now, she farms to feed the girls and provide skills and other support for the girls. Lack of parental care, broken homes, and the struggle for what the girls would eat continue to land many into the grips of teenage pregnancy. Team Preg Foundation is a non-profit organization that was formed purposely to support teenage mothers to go back to school and to undertake sensitization programs on teenage pregnancy. Its vision is to empower mothers and their caregivers in the central region to improve their livelihoods through appropriate and affordable alternatives. From the Abra Asebu Kwamankese district, my name is Richard Kwejo for Joy News.
Richard Kwejo joins me with more on this one. Richard, what has been your observation with teenage pregnancies on the strip?
Well, so Aisha, teenage pregnancy in the central region is just a common thing. Every day it happens. And beyond the broken homes and then the parental responsibility is the extreme poverty the people in the region face, especially those at the coastal belt of the region. And you heard tales of girls exchanging sex for fish because of what they would eat every day. The youth there, a lot of them do not have jobs. And so these girls are vulnerable. So those who are unable to go back to school or go to school, they are preyed upon by these boys or men, and then they get them pregnant. And then it's become like a cycle because the person that has been impregnated today, I remember that I did a story where a 39-year-old woman in Elmina was expecting the 10th child. And she told me that at night, she does not know where 7 of the children sleep. So it tells you, so that child that is on the streets, someone who also gets the child, if the person the person is a girl, then impregnates her, and it becomes like a cycle. So it is a tale of poverty and lack of skills and jobs for the people, and that is what is accounting for all of these beyond the parental responsibility and then the broken homes we often tout.
Now, we've realized that there's a lot of teenage pregnancy cases along the coast. Do you know why?
Yes, and poverty is one major cause of that. The people do not, beyond even the fishing, we are in the close season as well. And so the only source of livelihood, that is where they depend, that is the sea. And even their fortunes in the sea are also even dwindling. So when they go, it is not like profitable in the days of old. Now they have to go for loans, they power their canoes, buy premix fuel, they go, and sometimes they come back empty-handed. And so it's become very difficult for the people here. And so they've been craving for alternatives so that they could support these girls. I mean, the lack of it put these girls in these precarious situations where men prey upon them, because if you give the person 2 cedis, 5 cedis, for the person to be able to eat, get something to eat, then it results in some of these cases.
So what are the traditional authorities? I mean, what do they intend to do about this situation?
Sometimes they seem helpless. You know, the situation we are in is just not like in those days where there is that kind of communal spirit, that communal living. And so one is expected to watch over the other person. But now people do not care anymore. So you cannot even go and tell Akusia Menu's family that, oh, this is your daughter. I saw your daughter late last night. She was doing this. It's just like each one for himself, God for us well. And so the traditional authorities are even holding educational seminars, sensitization and all of that. But that is not enough. And so all of these records or statistics keep recurring. And then they will continue if nothing is done about the poverty situation in the central region.
Richard Kwejonya is our correspondent in the central region. We'll bring you more of this in our subsequent bulletin.